But Will Smith said this to me. He came up to piss next to me, and I got gun shy because he has a huge cock, and he has a fire hose of urine coming out, and he's just pissing next to me, and he's going, let me tell you the key to Hollywood. I'm Bert Kreischer. I'm here to answer the internet. Should you lock a dog out of a room while you're having sex? Yes, especially if it's a bull mastiff. I was having sex with my wife one time, doggy style. I thought he'd appreciate it. And I, like we're older and we miscalculated height, and I popped out, and my dog saw my dick and was like, what is that? And it's got all those pheromones on it, and the dog's chasing it, and I'm fighting this fucking thing. I got this 130-pound beast on the bed. I'm fighting the dog. Just kidding. If you could make your dick as big as you wanted, but for every inch you'd lose 2 years off your life, how big would you make it? I'm not sure I have the 2 to lose. The way I'm partying. I would put 1 more inch on my dick. So like 1 more. I'd take 2 years off. I'd put 1 more inch on my dick.
Because that inch is that, I think, if you got a regular dick, that extra inch is like going from 6'1" to 6'2". Or 6, like,
dude, there's a huge difference between a guy that's 6'1" and 6'2".
Yeah.
I watched a guy that was 6'4" talk to a guy that was 6'1", and the guy that's 6'1" didn't realize he was shorter. They were in chairs, and the guy at 6'1's like, you're not bigger than me. And he got in his fucking feelings about it. And the guy's like, I'm 3 inches bigger than you.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, no, I would take, well, how about this? I would add 2 more inches off, take 4 more years out of my life, but I would let my wife know, listen, we're gonna have to separate in like 4 years because I'm gonna run this dick around town. What is a little thing someone can do that automatically makes them a crazy person? Bleed from the face. If you pick a scab off your, if whenever you bleed on your face, like if you have a scab on your nose and it starts bleeding, you look crazy as fuck.
Such a good answer, and you had that ready.
Because it happened to me in a meeting. I had a scab, I didn't realize it was a scab, and we're in a general pitch meeting, and I was itching it, and all of a sudden, someone's like, it's really scary. They're like, dude, you're bleeding. And I was like, huh? And they're like, no, you're like, legit bleeding, and it dripped on my shirt, and I was like, oh fuck. And they're like, dude, like, okay, he's bleeding, what's going on? And I'm on blood thinners because I take baby aspirin. Boring. So, and I'm like, oh, and I couldn't get it to stop, and everyone's like, do you need to go home? And I was like, no, I'm fine. They're like, why are you bleeding? And I was like, I have a thing. I think it's propecia. If you had to watch your biggest enemy fuck the girl of your dreams in order to. Someone didn't read a lot. In order to marry her, would you do it? It's so funny. There was a minute where I thought a guy who I like, but I don't like enough. I thought he fucked my wife. There was a minute, there was a second, he was playing a joke on me. If he knows, he knows who he is. And if you do the research, you can find out who this is. And I melted down, and I thought to myself, do I still feel the same way about her if I know she fucked that guy?
Right.
And my answer was no. My answer was no. And I was like, what does this mean about me? And I started spinning, I could spin out of control, and I started spinning out of control, and then it turns out she definitely never fucked him. Thank God. Thank God.
So the answer to that is
no. Yeah, hard no. Hard fucking no. Would you rather give the first 99% or the last 1% of a blowjob? I used to have a joke about this. But my joke was, would you rather be the starting pitcher and throw 8 innings, or would you rather just come in and take the load, right?
Because on the one hand, you don't want the load, but also like that's a lot of work, those first 9 minutes or whatever.
And the pitch was, me and you are in prison. 9 guys come in. They're like, all right, pick which one you want to be, starting pitcher or the catcher. You could just, or the closer. They just call you in, you take the load. And every time I'd ask someone, they'd go, I go, you're hesitating. I'm the starting pitcher, and you're gonna be like Lucy in the Chocolate Factory. Just, I heard the funniest fucking joke, by the way, because it reminded me of this. This guy told me on set, is a British guy. He goes, tell me if you've heard this. Just stop me if you've heard this. He goes, guy goes to prison first night. He's a British guy, so I'll do it in a British accent. He goes, guy goes to prison first night. Goes in, meets his cellmate, big bloke, big hairy bloke. And he goes, all right, here's how it's going to work. We play a little game called Mommy and Daddy on the first night. You got to pick which one you want to be. Guy goes, I don't want to be either. He goes, no, you got to pick one. Mommy or Daddy, which one is it? And he goes, well, obviously I want to be Daddy. And he goes, okay, you're Daddy. Now come on over here and suck Mommy's cock. So a German guy goes, we have one very similar. He goes, a guy comes into prison and he says, meets his roommate, big guy, roommate, and he says, okay, it's gonna happen whether you like it or not. You can do it with spit or without spit. And the guy goes, I don't want to do it at all. And he goes, with spit or without spit, it's happening. And the guy goes, well, clearly I want spit. And he goes, okay. Hey, spit, he wants you too. Shout out to Phil and Robert. If someone texted you a picture of your dick with no context, would you know it was your dick? Yes. 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 You know, in a game we played one time, we had our wives come into a radio station and feel our dick and balls through a curtain, and they had to guess which ones was which, and they nailed it.
Really?
Not only did they nail it, Cowhead's wife, Amanda, felt my dick and balls and goes, this is Bert. I swear to God. I swear to God.
Wow. What a woman.
Yeah.
What a pair of balls.
If you had one time pass, what crime would you commit? Probably, like a pass, it's gotta be a bank robbery. Like just like, like you, just to see if you could do it.
I like that. Yeah.
Hijack a plane.
I just want to see if I can get the job done.
Hijack a plane was something that...
Kidnap somebody.
Who are we gonna kidnap?
I don't know. Like, give me a Theo Vaughn. He is so kidnappable. You're like, hey man, we got a bag of hamsters in this van. He's like, well, shit, gang, son, get me some of them hamsters. He's like, why are you guys all wearing gloves? Is it cold out? I didn't bring no gloves for me. Wait, why is y'all being so rough? Is this a wrestling van? If you could live anyone's life in their body, who would you be? I'd live my wife's life in her body. Yeah. And I would fucking molest it. I would come in, she would be in my body, I would be in her body, and then I'd come up to her and go, I think we have a problem. She's like, what did you put in your vagina? I go, everything. I just wanted to see how big it got. I saw a baby come out of there. I want to see. And I got some stuff stuck up there. I would definitely go, I'd take my wife's body and I would fucking destroy it. Would you rather give up porn or sex for 1 year? Well, I've definitely given up sex for 1 year before. It's not as hard as it sounds. Yeah. This is called up to being 18 years old.
Oh, yeah. That's what was he fucking?
And by the way, hold on. And I've also, even when I was single, I definitely went a year without. I went so long without fucking someone that when I first had sex with my wife, it felt awkward to have someone in the room when I had an orgasm. Like, I was like, I don't normally do this with people. And I remember being like, oh shit, like normally I just have an orgasm and I roll over and go to sleep. Yeah, and then I was like, oh, if you want, we can watch History Channel. I give up porn though. I should stop watching porn. Would you rather fuck a chick who banged 1,000 dudes or a chick who banged one? What's the animal? One animal. It's got to be a dog.
Yeah,
dog.
Was it an accident? Like, did she come home, pass out with a thing of peanut butter, naked, and then the dog just ended up fucking her?
Did the dog fuck you or did you fuck the dog?
Yeah, because I've been fucked by a dog, but look, I don't respect anyone who didn't get fucked by a dog as a kid. If you didn't get fucked by a dog as a kid, then you don't have good friends. Where they fucking hold you down, like, get him, Rodeo. And Rodeo is just humping you, and you're like, this isn't funny. By the way, that's a true story, a real dog's name. And yeah, my buddy Cayman's gonna be like, that was my dog.
Final answer though?
Finally, 1,000 dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's a but like, what do you think the over under on like a porn star is? Like, what do you think their number is? It's got to be like.
I think for women, I remember reading an article once that for women the number is surprisingly low because there's such female talent.
Yeah.
So it's like 5 dudes they all fuck.
You know what's so funny is that a girl can do porn for just like a month, and then she's a porn star forever. Yeah. Like Wiz Khalifa, she was only in like
Mia Khalifa.
Mia Khalifa was only in like porn for like a week.
Yeah.
A week, and then everyone knows her as that, and she's more than that. She's like really into sports and shit. Yeah. But I just talked about this with someone. Like Christy Mack was only in porn for like a year and a half. Yeah. She's like 19, I think.
Lana Rose did 1 year, I think like 8 months, and she's the number 1 porn star in Pornhub still. She's like the number 1 ranking.
I wish that worked with stand-up.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I did like 4 open mics, and now I'm the greatest comic that's ever lived. Can you still go to your barber if he's very racist? Like, assuming this is not meant for a white guy. Yeah.
Well, if they're talking...
I actually don't have a problem with it at all. I actually don't talk to him much. Sure. I actually think I might get a tighter cut. What are the hardest things to do casually? Like
the hardest everyday like things, right? Like,
jerk off, like, hey. So, what did you do this weekend? What are the hardest things to do casually? Snort coke. It's hard to do casually. Like, it always turns into an event. You're like, oh shit, we're gonna do this? Fuck yeah. And then you're like, and no one's like, oh, it's coke? Okay. Would you rather have your own personal bathroom or your own personal office? I have both. I don't think I understand the question. Okay. This is if I worked in like cubicles.
Sure, yeah.
I'd have my own personal office.
Office over bathroom? Yeah.
Like, I'd take an office over a bath because I like shitting in public. Like, I am more, like, this is going to sound creepy. One of my favorite things in the world is when you sit down on a toilet and someone had just gotten off of it and it's still warm. I love it.
Like one of my least favorite things
love
in
it.
the world.
It makes me embrace humanity. Like, we're still people that love each other. I go, dude, someone was just here. It's like when you're tracking an animal and you see a paw print and you're like, oh, wow, he's around here. Like, you remember when you were a kid and you found, like, coyote shit? And you're like, dude, there's an animal in these woods. It's like when you sit down on the toilet and you're like, oh, it's still warm. I can smell his cologne. Would you rather be an awesome NFL kicker or an average NFL tight end? Awesome NFL kicker, without a fucking doubt. Yes. And I would drink, and I would do drugs. I would just fucking, I'm ready for that moment. Here's my reasoning.
Essentially, you're an FSU guy. You're just beating Sebastian Janikowski.
That's what I was just. I didn't say his name because I was like, I wonder if he's like, I'm trying to do a Polish accent. And he's like, oh, I know that guy. And then he watches it and he's like, oh, I've cleaned my act up. Here's what I want. You ready? Here's my logic. Here's why I want to be an NFL kicker. If you're an average tight end, you don't get that much excitement. But when you're a kicker, you get that moment. You get that moment where the game depends on you. You have 50,000 people watching you. You get to sit there and go, all right, what am I made of? And you take your steps and you go, let's fucking do it. I love that feeling.
That moment when they kick and they kind of stand there and they're like,
yep.
it's going in and everyone's...
I love, one of my favorite feelings ever, I did Secret Time. We did 2 shows in Philly. First show, I bombed. And I was like, fuck. Now, I have always said I like pressure. My favorite thing in the world is pressure. We get up to the thing. We have one more show. And Leanne's like, well, we're about to find out how much you like pressure. I go, what? She's like, you got one show, big guy. And I was like, fuck. Oh, to fucking split the uprights. I mean, Secret Times, I murdered. That was the best set of comedy I'd ever done in my life. It was so tight, so dialed in. And at one point, they were stomping on the ground so hard. I had a joke about go to your refrigerator, you pull out a Diet Coke, and I get to the school, and I take a sip and realize I have a Coors Light. I go, that's when you find out what man you are. What kind of guy are you? Are you a guy in the orgy that gets a finger in ass and pulls away? Or are you a guy that pushes back in? And they fucking were stomping, and I was like, I could just feel myself like lining up and going, here we go. And you just at contact, you're like, I've made good contact. We're watching it soar. I want that feeling. Yeah. I would actually train to become an NFL kicker just to get that feeling. What is your stance on washing your hands after you piss? I don't do it. My dick is clean. It's an old joke, but Will Smith said this to me. He didn't wash his hands after he pisses either. Shout out to Will Smith. I said to him, we were leaving the ABC bathroom, and we both took a piss together. This is 24 years ago, and he came up to piss next to me, and I got gun shy, right? I got gun shy, and I couldn't piss because he has a huge cock, and he has a fire hose of urine coming out, and he's just pissing next to me, and he's going, let me tell you the key to Hollywood. Let me tell you the key to this business, and I can't hear anything because all I'm thinking is, just start pissing. But I can't because this is so loud, and I have a dribble of a piss, and I have to piss so fucking bad. And then finally I go, fuck, if I'm gonna sell a TV show next to this man, I better learn how to piss next to this man. So I just push, and I start pissing, and all I hear him saying his advice is be yourself. That's it. Be yourself. That's it. And then
the key.
And then he goes over to the sink and he sits on the sink and he's just waiting for me to get pissing. And he just goes, man, you're taking a long piss. I was like, I just started. So I get done, and I don't wash my hands, and I turn around and I go, and I think it's a root of connection, and I go, hey. You don't wash your hands after you piss. I don't wash my hands after I piss. He goes, my dick's clean. Let's go. And we walked into a room and sold a TV show. My dick's clean. Let's go.
Bert once again crushed Answer the Internet. If you want to watch our 2-hour interview with him, where we show each other our balls and have a long ball off, and where we have a blowjob giving competition, subscribe and click here.